Hi, today I'm drafting the pattern for my Regency day dress. The Regency era loosely covers the years from 1795 to 1830, when King George III was when King George III was declared unfit to rule and his son, the Prince Regent, took over, and also for the greater portion of the Prince Regent's rule as king. I'm choosing to make a day dress as my first project because I can use what I have on hand, and a day dress also doesn't have a train, and since I'm still learning a lot of the dances, I don't want to have to fuss with it holding up a train while I'm dancing. So here goes. So I've got Maggie here, and I've got my large t-shirt that I'm going to be using to help me with the pattern. This is actually two large t-shirts that I cut off the tops when I was making this skirt. See the skirt. And I really haven't had another project to use the tops for, except for maybe one sleeve. So what I'm going to do is measure them up against Maggie. It's a little short. I need it to be about that long. I'm matching up the shoulder seams here. And that's a little short too, maybe. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure from the shoulder seam, because I cut the neck out here. So measure from the shoulder seam down to the waist, which is about 13.5 inches. And maybe do that on the back too. So there's about 12.5 inches in the back, 13.5 over the front. And I am not a professional at this. There are a lot better videos if you want to be more accurate with your measurements and your estimates. Okay, so from this shoulder seam, that's 12. And 12. Let's check this one. It's probably the same because I cut them about, oh, nope, that's 11. And 11. So, what I'm going to have to do if I'm going to use this for the bodice part of the pattern is I'm going to have to add another inch at the bottom here when I trace it onto the paper. I'm also going to cut the neck off so that I can trace around that, and then I'll have to cut off the sleeve, which I'll do with this one that's already got one sleeve missing. I think I use that as a pocket on something. So I'll cut the sleeve off. But I'll get to that. First we're going to do the bodice part. Okay, right, so yeah, I'm not going to use this one because I was thinking, right, I need to cut the sleeve off anyway. So this sleeve is pretty well there. Okay, I'm going to cut this sleeve off. Now I'm going to cut the neck out. Old t-shirts are great for doing mock-up patterns like this. Okay. First thing, pattern paper. Pattern paper can get really expensive. So for my experimental patterns, I usually use craft paper, which is just brown paper, but I used it all for wrapping up stuff for an estate sale. So I did go in and find some old wrapping paper. This is just old Christmas wrap, which we're digging out of our closets right now, some of us. And you can see the white side. Now it is flimsy, but if you look at most patterns that you're going to buy, that's on tissue paper, which is even more flimsy. So for my experimental patterns, I'm going to go ahead and use just old wrapping paper for my pattern paper. And then when I have a pattern that I'm confident with that works after my mock-ups, then I'm going to put that on some heavier duty craft paper or actual pattern paper. Okay, so I'm just gonna position my t-shirt and trace around it. And then I need to add another, I'm going to add 2 inches because I can always take away. And this is going to be laid out on the fold for the back. Okay. And same for the front. Down here. Okay. Front, fold, back, fold. So this gives me enough for a seam allowance, and if I need to adjust it small. Okay, there you go. Probably shouldn't have used that with the marker on. Let's see. Let me get my paper scissors. Do not use your fabric scissors on paper. It will dull it out prematurely. Hey Maggie, move it. Am I abusive to Maggie? Okay, so, okay Maggie, come back over here. So here is the front. Yep. actually needed that extra couple inches. There will be a seam allowance, so it'll make the neck a little bit lower. And the back. Okay, shoulder seam. Yep, actually did need that couple inches. The neckline will be lower because of the seam allowance. There we go. So there's front and back. And then the rest will just be the skirt. So yep. Let me just cut this off. Whee! I love doing that. I hate wrapping presents, but I love cutting the wrapping paper like that. So for the skirt, I'm going to measure from my empire waist, a little bit higher, and down to the floor. And I have room to make a hem. And that is 49 inches. So roll this back out. There we go, barely made it to the edge. Okay, right there. So to make this a little easier to work with, I'm just going to trim this off right here. And then we're going to just shape the skirt pattern a little bit. So let's see, we've got, oh, and Maggie has a smaller waist than me. After I compared my pattern to the butterick pattern that my friend sent me, I discovered that the skirt is just a straight rectangle. I didn't have any need to taper it. So in my next video, I'm going to compare my drafted pattern to the butterick pattern and see how close I got. Also, I just realized that I forgot the sleeves today, so I'll have the sleeves in my next video also. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Please comment down below subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you will be one of the first to know every time I upload a new video.
What?
So I've got Maggie here.